I am Nick, and this is Human Limits, a podcast about what we are truly capable of and the limits that we hit, and whether those limits are real or something we can move past. Today we have here Alberto Marin. I know him as a founder,
product manager,
a product manager, one of those who built the Inner Flow. So there is this thing about training that messed up with me for a while. Traditionally, the way we train, we focus on the muscle. It's easy to track your progress through the muscle. It's either growing or not. But apparently that's the problem, for many at least. The Inner Flow is what I call, and as I understand the concept, is the gym of the new generation, or even to take it a bit further, of the future, where machines are not at the center. They don't occupy as much space as they traditionally would. Instead, the practice there is more presence-based, where light, sound, the room itself is a big part of the practice. Would you guide us into this world of the futuristic gyms where machines are not at the center of the process?
I think for me is we had the challenge to blend or be in the middle, in a neutral space of a premium commercial gym and like hyper niche, like super specific studio that somebody is doing something unique somewhere, right? So we kind of like wanted to speak to those that are looking for something different, but still being commercially attractive and people understanding. So that's why I always like to say, like, it's not what we do that makes Inner Flow different, is how we do it and how we approach those that are looking for something, and then kind of like pulling a rope slowly so they come to they come closer to a different perspective of understanding movement, right? And it's funny that you say it's like not like a regular gym. Well, the gym was never meant to be there in the first place. So it's a space that the gym happened as we moved through the project, and we realized, well, maybe we can have like a place for people to be autonomous and train by themselves, for themselves. And the gym was like on top of what we already were designing, right? So the experiences, the group experiences, the practices, the studios were at the center of the product, of the experience, of the space, right? And the gym was just something else. Whereas if you look at the fitness industry, the gym is the center, is the core of the business, right? So therefore, you have plenty of machines, you have plenty of room, square meters for that, and then on top of that, you might do yoga, you might do this, you might do that, but for us was the other way around. It's like, okay, we do believe that what happens in a group setup is, it can be magical. It can be beyond what you're planning because of the interaction, because of the vibe, because of whatever you're trying to pursue in that experience, right? So that was always at the center. Yeah, we do have a few machines, but it's like a supplement in the nutritional world, right? So the machines for us are the supplement, are not the food. Whereas in other places it might be the other way around.
I always feel a bit of hesitation of using the word gym when I talk to you or coming even from your side. So do you think there is a lack of language for explaining the concept of Inner Flow?
Well, if you go to the roots of what gym means, gymnasium or something like that, it's like it was like naked men training with like minimal equipment and very like raw stuff, right? So, well, if we call it gym, we are not far from what we believe a gym should be, right?
Exactly.
So why? No, and also there is a thing with vocabulary, with concepts, with language, right? Sometimes you have to understand that it's not about what you're trying to say, it's more about what they are getting out of that, right? So we have it in NLP. We have that saying like the meaning of a communication is a response that you get. So it's not the message. So changing and playing a little bit with concepts is something from a marketing or a communications perspective is something sometimes is really useful. Although you understand that the whole complexity of what a word could mean could be say differently, right? Like it's similar to what I don't know the word functional. Wow, it's so complex. I don't agree with what most people say functional training is, but if I say, "Oh, this class is like a functional training session," people will get it, but quick.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not what functional training is truly for me, right? Or what functional training is for an athlete, or what functional training is for a 60 years old woman. So that's it depends of the context and the individual as well. But yeah, language is complex and we have to play with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There is an established market for gyms, for yoga studios, but for what you're doing, you might need to develop the whole new communication channels with the target audience. It just feels that every time you need to promote what you're doing, you need to explain a bit more of what it is than normally. Yeah. It was my first interaction with Inner Flow was on Instagram. I've seen a reel, and it took me a while to actually understand what it is. We were building Human Limits back at that time, online fitness platform with the videos. And my first impression was, wow, these guys are doing the same thing. I had this vibe, it's something, and I loved the name, I loved the visuals, so it felt like you guys are doing the same thing, but to realize later that it's actually a physical space with maybe the similar values behind it. Okay, while preparing for this, I want to talk way more about Inner Flow and how it works over there, but I can't skip the interesting point that I discovered about you when I was preparing for this episode. It's more praxeology, something you studied way before, right?
Yeah.
Could you tell a little bit about it? It's not something that is broadly known in the world.
It's super academic, and yeah. When you begin sports science, you think you're gonna have like the answers to everything, and you realize that you just have more questions, right? But having that humbleness to understand that and understand the complexity is there, and then the only way that you can actually help others is to make them understand or accept that, and then take it from there and give them like islands of certain things in an ocean of uncertainty, right? So it's like, okay, if I want to understand the complexity out of that, it's like I have to navigate in what I know, accepting that there are not many things that I don't. So then I go to sports, and then I start to developing more. How can I help other individuals? Maybe in the fitness industry, because I was already there, understanding that well-being, that movement, that fitness is more complex than just sets and reps and programming and all of that, right? And emotions are a key part. And
that manifested in how Inner Flow is organized.
Well, I think it's part of the process. That's 18 years ago. So
yeah.
I finished university, basically in 16 years ago. So I think it's a long process. I don't know if we have the time, but as I finished, I remember I was in like third year or fourth year of the university. I was speaking with that teacher, and I was telling her like, I do understand what you're trying to say about complex systems, but how can we approach this in a training session?
Yeah.
How do I explain it? She didn't have the answer.
No.
So
do you have the answer now?
No, it's always, I always find the answer, right?
Okay.
But I went to London right after I finished my career, my degree, right? And then I started training outside, outdoors, no gym, no equipment. So everything that I learned as a personal trainer was like gone. Like, how can I reinvent the way I train in the real world? If I'm training in the park, how can I improve my physical capabilities apart from just running and doing push-ups? So then I started to investigate a little bit more in natural movement, primal training. I came with Ido Portal and that broad perspective, that's wide wall of like movement is, right? So I just started to research about it and practicing it myself, and I did like animal flow certification, and then I did like, I don't know, I might have like dozens of certifications and courses and workshops that I went to just to trying to understand a little bit more. So that's a while ago, and I think I'm lucky that I've been presented a project like Inner Flow where I could implement some of these aspects in the fitness industry, right? And giving like the trust and the freedom that I've been giving to actually promote that way of training, understanding well-being in a place like Inner Flow is, right?
You have any group trainings around based on animal flow or the primal flow, something from those?
Myself?
No, I mean right now in the Inner Flow, if you offer those.
We have animal flow. We have
You do?
Yeah, we have move and flow with Charlie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have calisthenics. So we try to get people closer to this, and obviously like yoga and the different schools of yoga and movement that are already aware in that direction, right? Like maybe from a not Western perspective or an ancestral perspective, but understanding training or movement as something very complex, and understanding our body as a complex system itself, right?
Interesting that you mentioned that when you moved to London, you were training outside. You were looking for say the gym alternative, right? You were looking for.
At the beginning, I was, yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying it's curious because I'm in a similar spot. I've been trying to stick with the gym routine for a while, but something always pushed me outside. I guess my problem with the gyms in the traditional meaning, the ones that we have at almost every corner, at some point it becomes way less fun. It becomes a routine, and so easy to skip, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So quitting the gym is easy. Is Inner Flow in a way an answer to this issue? Does it help its customers to stick with their training?
It's not an answer, it can be the answer. So it's how you approach it. If you go to Inner Flow and you end up doing just chest and biceps, lats and biceps, and tries the same things that you're doing in another gym, then nothing's changing, right? So it could be the answer because we have the tools. We have very minimal equipment. I think we have like 4 machines for strength. Everything else is just cables, kettlebells, barbells, weights that you have like endless possibilities to move differently in every single set if you wanted to, right? So it's how you approach your practice, it's how you approach your training that makes a difference, right? So for some people, Inner Flow can be the answer to regular conventional training, but it depends of the person. It has to be a very like an autonomous or like a responsible decision, like going there and doing things differently as well. But we kind of like put the tools that we like this. If you go to the space, you see like you have like no screens. We have like our biggest training space for strength is outdoors with a functional rig, so you can hang, brachiate, and swing and jump around, right? So we do have barbells and things that people can recognize, but we have room, we have tools that also people can use differently, right? So,
but also the group training dynamics is a bit different. If you come to the group training and you see more or less the same people, there is a teacher. There are probably a bunch of teachers whose classes you attend the most. I believe it would be something for me of a value, because in a traditional gym, in the end of the day, most of us will feel lonely. It's just me there in the headphones. Some would train with the coach, but that's a different story. But if going to the gym, I know I'm gonna meet some friends. I'm gonna meet a teacher that I trust on a regular basis. That's completely different story. Yeah. But then I'm asking myself, is there a trade-off? Because gym sort of promises us a bulk in the end of the way, right? I'm gonna get that body that I'm aiming for. Do you believe, or do you know that inner flow can take you the same place that the gym would?
For strength development? Yeah, it can, definitely. Yeah. Is it the best way to become a bodybuilder? Probably not.
No.
But if we're looking for strong, capable, even why not bigger muscles, humans, it could be. Yeah. Maybe it's not the fastest journey, but it can take you there. But sometimes it's about understanding that is when you have a goal, are you just going for that goal, or you are also going to be grateful for the byproducts of the journey? So yeah, if I just want bigger muscles, training differently every week is not going to be the fastest way, because you need to track, to measure progressive overload, these sort of things, in order to grow your muscles faster, right? But if you want to be like a balanced, well-being, performer, healthy, happy human being in the journey towards becoming stronger. So yeah, probably it's not the fastest, but I believe is more nutritious.
More wholesome. Yeah. So it can give you the same that the gym would, but it also has a lot of very positive byproducts.
Yeah, and it will take it more time, probably.
It all starts with a very sophisticated test, right? At the Inner Flow. When you become a member, you have to go through. Is it called a test?
It's called assessment.
Yeah. And it includes quite a lot of parameters that you can later check.
So we do believe that the things that you measure, you can progress, right? So if you look at things and you know what your starting point is, it's going to be hard for you to compare and see if you're better or not to that point, right? However, if you go out there in the fitness industry and you trying to look how we measure progress, is always related to how many kilos you've lost, okay? And maybe how many push-ups you've done. So for us, that's also important because it says a few things about how your body's functioning, right? But it cannot be the whole thing. So in this welcome assessment, we do measure body composition, water, intracellular, extracellular, muscle mass, body fat. But just to understand a little bit more how your body is in a metabolic way, or how it's responding to your habits, and what your starting point is. But just that's one thing that we measure. Then we have an arterial plethysmography device that we see how your nervous system is balanced. your higher variability, your parasympathetic nervous system, how it's activated versus your sympathetic nervous system, right? So we go beyond what a fitness screening will look like, okay? And everything we measure when it comes to fitness screening or strength or physical capabilities are related to well-being and longevity. So like those that are being correlated to living longer and staying healthier for longer, right? So we have different testing than just sit and reach, or just how many push-ups can you do. We have chosen those that are like related to how long are you going to be living.
Oh, interesting.
So it's not just your starting point, and in 3 months how you are going to change that by training with us is also like where you at and where you're going to, or where you want to be when you grow older. It's about well-being, longevity, and also being mentally fit. That's correct. Sorry, the psychologist might be just screaming now, but it's like for me, fitness is being adaptable to the context, right? So mentally fit is being like here in your head, being adapted to the stress that you are trying to handle, or the context, the strain that you have in your life, right? So it's how you respond physically, but how you respond mentally as well. And from there, how are you improving that in 3 months?
Is there a way to measure this stress response, or yeah,
we have blood work, so we know cortisol, testosterone, for example. Also like enzymes and things like to measure.
So the blood work is a part of the assessment.
That's biochemistry, but also we measure how your nervous system is. So like what's your high variability, how your sympathetic and parasympathetic are balanced. If you're doing the test in the morning and one of those, like your parasympathetic is low, it's fine. It should be low because it's early in the morning. You have to be active, right? So the other one has to be high. So we try to explain why balance is a difficult to explain concept in biology, and humans are kind of like are no machines, right? So yeah, we have a way, and also how your cardiovascular health is according to how your nervous system is interacting with it. So something different to what you see in a regular gym, right? So it's just how many kilos I've lost, and how fast I can run.
No, I mean, longevity as a product is very ambitious thing. Instead of selling, you're gonna lose 15 kilos in the next week, you're selling you're gonna live longer, and I think that's a product to work with. Yeah, it's ambitious, but from what you say, it sounds very realistic.
Well, it's not a coincidence that we have this trend at the moment, because we have realized that we are going to be living longer. I don't know if we're going to be immortals or not, but definitely it's going to be, every time we're going to be closer to that, right? So even millennials are taking care of their habits, thinking about it, and it's amazing. Like, for the first time, a trend, science and health are together. So that's amazing. So from that point is like, why don't we want to be yourself in that wave, right? Like, it's something that is going to help others. It's something that is commercially attractive, and it's something that we truly believe in, right? So it does make sense for us. Obviously, it's not everything that we do. We are not a longevity clinic, but it's okay. We are going to move. We're going to take care of our habits. We're going to be doing meditation, breath work, and going to the sauna. Maybe it's just for relaxation or to look better. It can also be for something else.
Tracking the numbers is a big passion of mine.
Okay.
And in terms of human limits, our project, I'm thinking a lot of what I would measure our limits. So there should be some numbers for psychological conditions, for mental, physical, on every aspect. In yourself, is there certain numbers that you pay more attention to than the others?
My numbers,
Uh-huh.
to be honest, so like very like how I feel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a number.
We still don't know how to convert it into
Yeah.
a number.
We're trying to. In that welcome assessment, we do have a subjective outcomes tracking. So we have a questionnaire, and you have like a few. The answers are related to numbers, and those numbers are related to sensations.
Mm-hmm.
So if we ask you how you're sleeping in 3 months, and you say 4, and now you're saying 8, we could argue, but we could actually be calm that you might have improved. We don't know if it's like a twofold improvement or not, but you were saying 4 and now you're saying 8. So just by how you are experiencing that change is what matters, right?
Yeah.
It's not like it was 34 and now it's 38. It's like, do you feel like 8? And that's what's important for you, isn't it? So apart from gathering all these objective like metrics and biomarkers, we do ask the person, how are you feeling? How are you sleeping? How do you feel about stress? So if you ask me, I'm normally more concerned about how I feel than actually how my metrics are.
Okay, but
Sorry I didn't answer.
no, that's a beautiful answer.
I don't weigh myself that often. I don't pay attention to I have this, and it's a magical tool, but I use it like a stopwatch most of the time. And normally I don't go to see all the graphs about how I sleep and everything else, right? So yeah, but we understand that it might be for some person, for some people, or depending where you are. Like if you're happy with your habits, you're happy with how your body is performing, how you move, how you deal with life, then your focus might be somewhere else. If you're struggling, if you're not sleeping well, if you are not happy with your body, if your self-esteem is low, maybe having a combination of how you feel and how your body objectively is can be helpful for you to understand the complexity of that, right? Because if we talk about beliefs, sometimes if a person is not happy with how he or she is feeling, those beliefs might be affecting how that person is truly being, right? So we kind of like want to ask you how you feel, but we want to objectively say you are improving, although you feel you are not. Because some point is about, well, your training is still hard because it's meant to be hard. It's like we are progressively making it harder for you. So some people it's like, oh no, I haven't improved because I got to the sessions and I was always hard. I'm always like struggling in this. I'm always have that. I feel that strain. Like, no, it feels heavy. I'm sweating. Like, no, it's meant to be that way. But look at the numbers, how you started, and now look at them now. Like, no, the way that you are experiencing the challenge is the same, but the challenge is bigger. So that's why we kind of like want to have subjective and objective outcomes to help them understand a little bit more, and for us to give them a better response as well.
For a while, the way the morning starts in our house, we meet in the kitchen with my wife and we exchange with numbers. I would say 82, she would say 75. That's the sleep score we got on our devices.
Okay, but like truly like the number that the device tells you.
That's what we start with, and then we will complain how it didn't really track what happened in reality. Sometimes it would give you the number that has nothing to do with the real world. It's what you're saying. But yeah, for us, this little magic number that we get on the screens in the morning it's it's the way to kick off the day. But here I wanted to touch upon the super important topic, the sleep and the workout and the habits. Would you say that working out in any way is very important to the sleep and to the sleep scores you're gonna get on your devices in the morning?
Very. Like,
should it be exhausting? Should it be the training?
depending of the time, depends of the time of the day, and your starting point, like how you are approaching the training. It's important for the final outcome. So the outcome of the training is going to be correlated to the status before you experience that challenge. So it's very dependent of the person, the time of the day.
But it also works both ways. I need a night of good sleep in order to be performant enough for a good training. And also I need to have the training during the day so that my body would get into the proper state before going to sleep.
Yeah. And it's super interesting because sometimes common sense is helpful. But we have this very interesting study that shows that when you are lack of sleep and the first thing that you do in the morning is a high intensity interval training session, it can be beneficial for you how you rebalance your circadian rhythms. So you might think, look, I had like a bad night's sleep, like I slept like 5 hours, I should rest in the morning. Well, actually, when you look at science, it says, well, not really. The way to rebalance and go back to homeostasis will be a high intensity, like an intense session.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
So movement can be used as a tool sometimes to rebalance the body as well.
Yeah. I know that running coaches always told me you need to sleep well. Sleep is essential for the recovery. But they all know that if on a race day, you hardly ever have a good sleep. I mean, the night before the race.
That is true.
Nerves, everything. But still, my best results in any race was after a sleepless night. I'm not trying to build a connection here from what you're saying, but our body knows how to handle high intensity stress even after a sleepless night. Yeah.
But we also have to look at what's the real purpose. It's like, do you want to be good at the training? You do need to rest, right? Although we know before a race, we hardly rest, right? But my point there was like, if the outcome is sleeping better and rebalancing your circadian rhythms and your hormonal responses, maybe the training can be used as a tool. So that session might not be the best session that you're doing, but it's the best session for you to go back to normal sleeping the following night.
Yeah.
So there, the goal was not in the training. The goal was set in the sleeping. So you use the training as a tool.
Yeah.
But it could also be the other way around.
Yeah.
Right?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's all interconnected in that sense. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the flow states? I think it's one of the core terms when you speak about the inner flow. So in 2 words, what it is, where they originate from?
Well, we had a very broad vision of what we wanted to build. So I was contacted by Emilia, our CEO. He also contacted our brand and marketing manager, Foch. The three of us, with a co-founder and the owner of the space, were given like super simple or minimal information of what we wanted to build, right? Like it's going to be in this side of the building. Norskin is going to land a year before this.
Norskin is the co-working space.
The co-working space. It has to be a holistic approach to fitness and wellness, and flow state is going to be in the center of our philosophy. That was it. From that idea, the project started, right? So flow state has been there from the beginning. We didn't know if it's Inner Flow was going to be the name, but we knew that flow state was going to be our mission, like to create situations, spaces, experiences for people get into that state regularly, for them to improve performance and overall well-being, right? So that was our whole purpose. How we kind of found a way and design a way to get there, right? So flow state is a huge topic, but in a world like the one that we're living at now, like attention is being compromised. We are intoxicated by information, right? We are scaling numbers in depression, anxiety, how we deal with stress.
Yeah.
Not the stress itself, it's always been there. We're probably experiencing, like, we are probably in a
mildest period of times, no?
It was one of the softest eras to live at.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's like, you probably don't know how to use a gun, right? We probably will die without having to use a gun.
Yeah.
It never was that meant to be that way. It was never normal. Like, normal was like, no, you know how to use a sword, you know how to use a gun, you know how to
build a house, how to use the plow.
Yeah. You know how to face, I don't know, like hunger, like, so, but at the same time, we are feeling that we are not being able to cope with that stress, right? So taking it from there is like, well, if a fitness and wellness space is the third space for a Western human being, why are not we tackling that in the space that they spend a lot of time at, right? Like, yeah, it's home. Well, we could go to people's houses, but work, that's something very useful, because actually Inner Flow is at a co-working in a building with offices, so that helps a little bit. And the gym, right? So we kind of like use flow state and focus training sessions and immersive experiences to tackle one of the issues that we are facing now, right? Like, which is how we deal with stress, how we feel, how we lose attention, how we are not being able to focus anymore as like we used to.
Did you get the feedback from your clients about experiencing the flow state?
Yeah. No, it's a channel, but I mean, you go to a class there and it's like the whole room has been designed for that. Like, you go to the gym and it's a regular gym, like you have weights, you have barbells, you have cable machines, but it does feel different.
Yeah.
Because you don't have distractions, you don't have TV screens, you don't have boring setups with plenty of machines, with doing always the same, not being able to change so it does, and that's what we're trying to do, right? So yeah, that was the center always, right?
You can also, sorry for interrupting.
No, it's all right.
I'm imagining the day, the session at the Inner Flow. So there is a group training, there is a little gym there, and you can close the session in the spa zone with what is it called, the meditation chamber or the floating bath thing?
We have a float tank. So yeah, we kind of like have a space that Inner Flow is a space with different spaces, where you can experience flow state and immersive situations in different ways, right? So each one of the studios, each one of the spaces is designed to be triggering one of the triggers for flow state. So you go to our Sendo and it's minimal design, it's isolated, noise cancellation, and there you go through, you get to flow state by meditation, calmness, tranquil practices.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the only way to experience flow state, right? Flow state is that mental, physical, spiritual way of being immersed in what you're doing. Like the task is what matters. Like is the moment and nothing else. Is the present moment. Is being focused. It's doing something meaningful, but it's not easy. I don't know. So you can be drawing. You can be playing an instrument and experiencing that, right? So there are plenty of ways to experience flow state. So we don't want to be super strict of, no, this is the way to get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people need calmness to get to that point. Some people need an overload of stimulus with light, music, and a group to get to that sensation where there nothing else matters than that present moment, right? Or that session.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have to isolate themselves and train without distractions. Some people need strain, some people need ease. So each one of the spaces is designed to help you get there.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be an autonomous, it has to be a responsible way to do it. So you can be training in a gym with no distractions with the phone in your hand, right? You can go to the float tank and think about your boss. So yes, it's how you approach the moment.
Taking responsibility for the outcome.
And one of the spaces that we have is a float tank.
Mm-hmm.
The science in the float tank is not floating. Okay, we have some salt, it's magnesium. It does help for your skin. It's healthy, but the science behind it is the sensory deprivation. So it's you isolating yourself from the wall, not hearing much, not feeling much. We have an infinity ceiling, so you kind of like get lost in a ceiling with no information, no corners, no mirrors,
no limit.
No. So that's a way to get to an altered state of consciousness, right? But some people, it's going to be by having a heavy barbell on the back and being mindful how they feel rooted, how they feel the weight in every corner of their feet, and having mindful about that. Some people will get it through music and connection. So yeah, we kind of like, don't want to say that we have created the methods or we have created the perfect design for you to get to flow state. We give you the tools, and you find your flow, you find your way.
Yeah.
And it can be floating, or it can be running by the beach with a group of 10 people. So
out of the trainings and tools, as you call them, that Inner Flow offers, which one would you say, if not universally, but then for you, can help you get as close to your limits as possible? To illustrate what I'm trying to say, yeah,
it's hard.
Look, for me, it's meditation. It takes me in no time to my limits of what I can do there, or how long can I be in it. Running is another thing, but it takes a lot of time for me to reach that point where I can't do it anymore. I was always wondering if animal flow is something to explore. It sounds very both primitive and advanced in terms of exploring your body.
It's good that you're starting and you explain it from your perspective, because I truly believe that is how you individually experience that, right? So if you are somebody that practices yoga or has been practicing yoga for 10 years every day, so maybe for you it might not be a way to experience your limits. And maybe the people listening, or you you don't agree with me, but for me, limits are not physically there. For me, limits are beliefs. So for me, limits are constraints that we put ourselves into, we are limiting ourselves from what we're capable of, because we can say like the human limits are this, but are they going to be there in 100 years?
Or tomorrow.
Or tomorrow, like, especially now with with everything that's happening, right? And the understanding of science and technology, right? So like explain to a person like from like, 10 centuries ago that we will be able to run 100 meters in less than 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
No. The human limit is 12 seconds or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the limit is not there. It's what we believe is the limit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we set ourselves limit, we are actually we are accepting the constraints that the context is influencing us,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if we believe that this person is like influencing me negatively, is going to be a limitation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not real. I mean, that person is not the limitation.
That's the story you told yourself.
Yeah, it's a constraint
Yeah.
of your whole system or you as a system, that the belief of that person influencing you or your performance, it's right. So it's difficult because then my limits are not gonna be your limits. So if we understand that, it's like how's the best way to explore your limits. So maybe those that are challenging your beliefs more, right? So every time that you are facing or you're trying to reframe or challenge your belief, that's going to be like a step forward towards where your limit you thought was.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to flow state, one of the internal triggers for flow state is skill, challenge, balance. So what I am capable of doing and what I am facing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So a way to experience flow state has to be balancing skill and challenge. Mm. If you are very skillful at something and the stressor, the task that you are giving, it's below your skills, you're going to get bored. Mm-hmm. So you are not going to get into that flow state channel for you to experience the next step towards your limits. So you constantly have to be balancing skill and challenge for you to be in that channel, mm-hmm. in that flow state channel, for you to expand what your limits are.
Yeah.
So it's very individual, and it's, I will say, maybe something that you are not doing much today could be something for you to explore.
Yeah.
For me, it can be, I don't know, being still. Mm-hmm. For me, stillness might be super challenging, but if I do it in a way that is challenging, but I'm capable, I feel like that, okay, it's challenging, but I'm not being frustrated because it's too challenging that I'm going to abandon this, right? So if I find that sweet spot, mm-hmm. of me facing what is challenging for me, for my persona, then it's going to, for me to help me, right? So for another person might be strain, might be having to close the mouth and feel the loads and go through that extra rep, mm-hmm. or that extra pull-up or that extra whatever, because that person is normally comfortable in stillness, which is the opposite to myself. So the limit is where you're not looking at, in my opinion, or where you're not practicing much.
That's a brilliant take on the limits and what they are and how very personal they are. Yeah, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Before we close this, Alberto, I wanted to ask you for a book recommendation for our viewers and listeners, something on the topic or around it.
Okay. It's a book that is not going to give you many answers, mm-hmm. And I love that. Not many people know it, but I found it very interesting for me to continue my journey towards understanding like movement, well-being, and also like human behavior, right? Mm-hmm. It's from Frank Forensic, and it's called Exuberant Animal. Mm-hmm. So how movement has been not just function or like the expression of what a function has to happen, but also a way for us to express ourselves through dance, through play, through human interaction. So sometimes we look at movement as something that has to be practical. So learning how to fight, learning how to run, like doing something, cooking, right? But movement can be taken as well to a way of understanding the world, connecting with others, and being part of something that sometimes is bigger than yourself. And the only way to experience it is the physical world, which I believe has to be experienced with others.
Thank you so much for today, for your time when explaining and giving your brilliant take on the human limits, what they are. Would be happy to talk to you again.
Yes, we will.